Hello everyone, this is probably the first time you've seen my channel, so I should tell you in advance, I am not good at Your Bizarre Adventure, so this challenge might not be as easy as you would expect. Personally, I think this makes the video more interesting and gives it more suspense, but whatever. The premise of today's video is, can you beat YBA while only using the stands of enemies you beat? This title may sound confusing, so I'll explain it here. I must complete the storyline of Your Bizarre Adventure only using the stands/fighting styles of enemies I beat. So for example, this means I cannot use stand until I beat someone with a stand. Even then, I can only use the stand they had when I beat them. I also have some rules for the challenge. Rule number 1, I cannot bring a friend or an alt account in to get a stand from them. It must be achieved properly. Rule number 2, I can only fight players who have prestige 3 or more, so I can't just fight bad players. And finally, rule number 3, I cannot do any side quests. This is so I'm not over leveled for any of the fights. However, I am allowed to kill any enemies I want, so I could kill Dio for the world, but I cannot accept the quest to kill him as that would give me XP. Now with the ground rules set, let's begin. Starting out, the game continues as normal. We beat up the security guards, return the short man's suitcase, and help a criminal with more things than we probably should. And then lies the first obstacle in our run, Leaky Eye Luca. Now I'm not sure if any of you thought this, but with just your fists, Luca is incredibly hard. He does way too much damage and is constantly attacking you. Without a barrage or a heavy punch, this fight is going to be a lot more difficult. So on attempt 1, I lost. Same goes for attempts 2 and 3. On attempt 4, I remember the skill tree exists and got some health points. I still lost. Then I remember the dash button exists and still lost. Then after trying a bunch more times, my internet showed mercy on me and let me win. Barely. Then after talking to the cannoli head criminal again, he says he wants me to kill Bruno Ratti. Okay, this is gonna be hard, so I need a new strategy, or a new stand. Now obviously with no stats, no spec, and no stand, it's almost impossible for me to kill a player, prestige 3 no less, unless they're AFK. If they're AFK, I can possibly chip them down with M1s until they die. This is a cheap trick, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat this challenge. But this guy had Tusk Act 2, and Act 2 is not Act 1, so unless I get a left arm, I can't use that. I'm not sure if this guy had a stand or not, so we're not counting him, but finally, after a good hour of this, I found this guy. He was AFK, Prestige 3, and had a stand, and that stand's name is Red Hot Chili Pepper, the first stand to be unlocked on our journey, through many. So right away, I got to rolling, with no luck. This continued for about another 20 minutes until I decided to call it quits for the day. On day 2, I was feeling surprisingly confident, so I went to challenge Bruno right away. On my way to do this, I found this guy with Whitesnake. For some reason, I thought I could take him with no stand. This was made clear when he started packing me up. So I pulled the "you really want to do that?" and stood inside Bruno so he wouldn't hit me. He tried hitting Bruno and running away so he despawned, but I'm still right where he respawns, so that ain't working. Then he hits Bruno again for some reason, and then for some reason, my dumb self decides to hit Bruno and aggro him onto me! Why? Why does that do this? So obviously I get destroyed and die. But you see, what I just went through was a mistake caused by me, a mistake that I learned from. And what I learned is that Bruno is as dumb as bricks, and if you play Bring Around the Rosie with him, he can't ever touch you. With this new information, who needs a stand? So I got to work. And I have now ordained Zipperman. Now for the next boss, I am not surviving Fugo without it, because he has his terrifying stand, Pancake Fog. So I get to brawling, and I need to either get Chili Pepper or Zipperman, and I end up with the latter. Now there is a problem with this. I do not use Zipperman. It is a very niche stand, and it's not that good. I mean, when was the last time you ever saw anyone using Zipperman? One thing they did get right, this ultimate. So with my newfound abilities, I was able to defeat Fugo and then go on to the next boss, Pesci. Pesci is considered to be the most annoying boss in the entire game, because he's basically Luca with 3 times the health and damage. So how will I defeat him? With a spec. Not by killing a player, but by killing a zombie. See, not many people know this, but zombies actually use the boxing fighting style. So as the rules state, I am allowed to kill a zombie to get to the boxing fighting style. After this and a few tries, I was able to beat Pesci. After this, Ghiaccio was light work, and I was able to move on to the final part of the run, defeating Diavolo. If you don't know, Diavolo is, in my opinion at least, the most difficult and powerful boss in the main story. So Zipperman, a stand I've barely used up until now, is not going to be viable for this final fight, but it is going to be easier this time, because now I actually have a stand I can use to fight other players. All I need to do now is wait until I can find someone with a worthy stand for the job, and I didn't have to wait long. He tries to flee up the ladder, but he doesn't know that there's an invisible wall stopping him from climbing up. I now have scary monsters, a stand so spammy it's worthy of defeating Diavolo. Now on this first attempt, I was actually helped by this magician's red, so I did it again. So to answer the question, yes, you can beat YBA using only abilities from the enemies you kill. Thank you.